So you might be asking yourself, okay, how do I do this? And the answer is you audit yourself. You have to go through and make sure that everyone who has worked for the company, and this is particularly true if it's a tech company or anyone who's involved in the creation of intellectual property, you audit yourself, everyone who's worked for the company, consulted for the company, developed for the company, wherever they may reside, have they in fact signed the appropriate agreement to protect the company? If it turns out they haven't, then the best situation is to go back to them and say, please sign it. If it turns out that you can't get everyone to do that, well then you need to create this document which says, okay, these people didn't sign it, these people may have entered into these exceptions, so on and so forth. Now, what is that? That basically is dirty laundry. In some people's view, depending on the company, that might be more like a skeleton in the closet. But be that as it may, it is what it is, and it's important information. And what it really reflects is it shows that when it comes to these sorts of things, the sooner you get your house in order, the better you're going to be. Separate and apart from the Proprietary Information and Invention Assignment Agreement, there's all of the other agreements that impact management, employees, and consultants. Again, sticking with this idea that you're trying to get through these gates and that there is this due diligence process, what you need to do is, again, self-audit. Make sure that you have copies of all of the appropriate agreements, the offer letters, any employment agreements. Do you have any employee benefit plans, which include stock option plans, all of the agreements that have been granted. Obviously, in the corporate records, you would have the authorizations to approve those grants, but in this, you've got all of this information. Anyone who hasn't signed these agreements, what about accrued but unpaid obligations? So you would want to be able to document that, hey, if in the event that there was a termination, maybe change of control or whatever, that these payments would be a contingent liability. And that's what you need to do in order to make sure that you've fully disclosed and frankly that you're individually aware of all these. Now, it's a lot of paper. The other thing I would say is obviously it's going to depend on where you reside. So in a global world, the laws in the United States, which tend to be much more at will, less friendly to employees, are very different than what you're going to find in France or in a lot of other nations where there's different labor laws and regulations. So within the documents that will be downloaded, you'll be able to see the checklist of the types of agreements that I'm talking about, and I would refer you to that document to make sure that you've got your employment, management, and consultant records in order.